Ever wondered how international trade works and who is responsible for what? It all comes down to Incoterms, or International Commercial Terms, a set of predefined commercial terms published by the International Chamber of Commerce. Let's start with the first Incoterm, Ex-Works, or XW. Under this term, the seller makes the goods available at their premises. From there, the buyer takes over, covering everything from picking up the goods to paying for transportation, insurance, and any customs duties. Next is free carrier, or FCA. Here, the seller delivers the goods cleared for export to a carrier chosen by the buyer at an agreed-upon location. The buyer then takes over, covering transportation costs and risks. Carriage paid to, or CPT, is where the seller delivers the goods to a carrier, pays for transportation to a named destination, and then hands over the responsibility to the buyer. The buyer then pays for import customs clearance and any further transport. CIP, or carriage and insurance paid to, is similar to CPT, but the seller also includes insurance during transit. The seller covers the cost of transportation and insurance to the named destination, and the buyer takes over from there. With delivered at place, or DAP, the seller is responsible for delivering the goods to a named place, often the buyer's premises. The seller covers all costs and risks until the goods are delivered. Delivered at place unloaded, or DPU, is similar to DAP, but the seller also unloads the goods at the named place. The buyer then takes over. DDP, or delivered duty paid, is where the seller delivers the goods to the buyer's location and takes care of all costs, including customs duties and taxes. The buyer just needs to receive the goods at their door. Free alongside ship, or FAS, is where the seller is responsible for delivering the goods alongside a vessel at a named port. Once the goods are placed there, the risk transfers to the buyer, who handles further transportation and costs. FOB, or free on board, is where the seller delivers the goods, cleared for export, on board a vessel at the named port. After this point, the buyer takes over, handling transportation and risks. Cost and freight, or CFR, is where the seller delivers the goods, cleared for export, on board a vessel at the named port. The seller also covers the cost of transportation to the named destination port, and the buyer takes over from there. Lastly, CIF, or cost, insurance, and freight, is similar to CFR, but the seller also includes insurance during transit. The seller covers the cost of transportation and insurance to the named destination port, and the buyer takes over once the goods arrive. These Incoterms are the backbone of international trade, defining the roles and responsibilities of buyers and sellers, dictating who pays for what, when the risk transfers, and where the delivery is considered complete. Choosing the right Incoterm is crucial for a smooth and clear international trade transaction. This ensures a clear understanding between parties, reducing potential disputes and misunderstandings. So, the next time you're involved in an international trade deal, remember the importance of Incoterms. They're more than just a term, they're the rulebook for global trade.